Hi everyone, and welcome to another live at the Mill. Today I'm here with Sanskruti, and Sanskruti has created a wonderful line of face oils and face products that we're selling here at the Mill, and which I've actually personally been using for the last couple of months, and I truly cannot speak more highly or endorse a product more than I can these oils. So I've invited Sanskruti here today from Ahmedabad, and she's going to talk to us about these oils and the story behind her amazing brand. Just a little bit of an intro from my side. This is a face oil brand that uses the concept of Ayurveda to create oils that are appropriate to each of our doshas. And so I don't know that everyone maybe who's listening to us knows what a dosha is. Maybe they don't even know what Ayurveda is.
Yeah, sure.
So maybe you can help us by telling us a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure. So Ayurveda is a philosophy that talks about how various things impact us in terms of seasons, in terms of emotions, in terms of food, and how each individual has a bio-individual unique body type, like Vata, Pitta and Kapha, the three main sort of body types, and everyone has a percentage which is a mix of the two, like 80% to 60%, and everyone is unique in that way. And these things keep changing based on are changing based on the season type, the kind of food we eat. So we have an internal set point with which we are born, that let's say I'm this much Vata, this much Pitta, and then there are seasonal changes, emotional changes, food and dietary changes that sort of deviate us from that harmonic balance which is internal to us, and that causes a lot of problems in our health, in our emotions, mind, etc. So the whole philosophy is how to bring that inner balance back in your life, whether it is in terms of like the emotional thought process that you should have, or the kind of food you should have, and even in terms of fragrances, because there are certain fragrances that are appealing to a certain dosha type and they pacify that dosha type and improve its own nature. So we sort of work like that, and each dosha type will obviously have a different skin type. That's how this sort of plays into our face oils also. Like Vata is more on the dry side, and Pitta skin is more sensitive to heat and very sensitive to and very reactive also, and is more combination type. And then the Kapha type skin is very oily, prone to like dilated pores, issues like that. So what we do is we focus and understand the Ayurvedic ingredients which will help a particular problem. Like if I know someone says that I want to have like dilated pores, I want to shrink the legs, so I understand that this is a Kapha problem, and there are what elements will be needed to bring that back in balance, and that's how we design our oils in terms of fragrance as well as the ingredients.
So that's great. It's so interesting. So I know that I have Pitta skin.
Yeah.
Because I'm very Pitta, and my moles show that, because Pitta, all of your illness comes to the top, to the skin. It boils up basically, and so I have really sensitive skin. So for someone like me, what are the oils and the ingredients that you're really going to recommend?
Okay, so again, as I always do, we customize, and whenever we refer the rituals that we tell everyone, it has to be seasonal. So especially the worst season for Pitta is the summer monsoon period, because the heat and humidity is the worst for the skin at that time.
That's why I hate the monsoon. I hate the monsoon. It's because I'm Pitta.
Yeah. So then what we do is we use certain oils which are more astringent, and certain which are more lightweight absorbent for that time period. Like Meadowfoam is very oil balancing. Like when you use that oil, it will actually internally balance your skin's natural oil production. Instead of just overtly reducing it, internally changes that. And then we use like pomegranate seed oil, which will help with the astringency. And obviously we love using rose and sandalwood for Pitta, because those are extremely soothing, very cooling, and have so many anti-inflammatory properties, which instantly cools down the whole aggravated Pitta dosha.
And just so that I can understand, how can our listeners, our viewers, better understand what kind of dosha type they are? Is there a quick thing that we can think of and look at?
Yeah, so on our Instagram page also we have certain...
Saga of Soam's Instagram page.
Yeah, we have certain, I have this one guide which I've created which has Ayurveda dosha types, And also you can always ask us, but mostly what we do is we say clearly that if you have more dry flaky skin, go towards the Vata type oils. And wherever I have given my product descriptions, even on the Lamil website, we have mentioned that okay, this is meant for this dosha type, so you can consult that, and then we've explained like what ingredients will particularly help to improve
which one. Okay, and I just want to come to, first thing is, what I know is that this product uses and sources the absolute best ingredients that are out there, okay?
Yeah.
So I know that you source from across the world the absolute best rose oil, the most luxurious, purest quality of, yesterday you talked about geranium oil, which I found really interesting. So can you tell me a little bit more about how maybe today in a lot of other products that are out there, there's a lack of purity and there's sort of a contamination of some of those ingredients.
Alright, so there are two levels actually at which this operates. First is the base ingredients, like the carrier oils that we use. In that, what happens is the natural oils, they have a smell. Not all natural oils have like a bad smell, but like let's say black seed oil has a very pungent smell. Chia seed oil, the freshest batch of it will actually stick. So what brands do is when they want to use those products, they strip it away of its nutrients by bleaching it, deodorizing it, refining it. And the result is that it doesn't smell bad, but then its properties are sort of reduced because its potency is reduced by doing this. Instead, what we do is we try and source oils which are naturally very, very fragrant, or which don't have a fragrance at all. So when we use our essential oils, then it just smells really beautiful. Or sometimes we even use like a synergistic fragrance. Like in incandescence particularly, people love the fragrance of it because the Arctic cloudberry oil that we use in it has a very unique fragrance. It's almost like floral, honey-like scent, which is not something you've smelled before. And then I just use a touch of neroli and lemon with it to just amplify its beautiful fragrance.
So because we talked a little bit about Ayurveda, but the other science that you use is
Aromacology.
Aromacology, which is a science that tells us that we smell things, and when they smell good to us, it's because our body needs them.
Correct.
Is that right?
Yeah. So it's about, see, the Ayurvedic point of view is that when your body is naturally in like balance, like let's say you don't eat junk food, you have a good diet, and whenever you crave something, it's because your body needs it. Okay, and this sort of derives from that philosophy only. So Aromacology studies the impact of fragrances on our mood as well as emotions. So there are studies which show that when you inhale pure Bulgarian rose oil, just the scent of it will instantly increase your endorphin levels and reduce cortisol, anxiety, etc. Similarly, neroli increases serotonin, all like happy hormones. So what we've done is that I know that this is going to be a kapha problem, like when someone comes in for pores or oiliness. So the fragrance I use is also something that will aid kapha with their own emotions and their own dosha type.
What is a kapha? Like what is a typical issue that a kapha person has?
So I'll just break down like what are the common issues. So like Vata people tend to struggle a lot with dry winters. Their skin type is very dry and like more like flaky type of skin, and sometimes they can also struggle with pigmentation. And their skin can be very sensitive because the thickness of the skin is actually very low, like one of the more thinnest skin basically. But the skin is medium but very sensitive to sun, heat and humidity, and it tends to be more on the combination type, like it will get all like really oily in the summers and monsoons but like dry in the winter, that kind of a type. And the kapha type is mostly oily skin and has issues with like dilated pores, so congestion in the skin is quite common, or like puffiness under the eyes. So these are the kind of like problems like each dosha type faces. And then we use sort of oils which, so even when I actually was making these oils, I studied it. Like I would ask people that, do you like this oil? And then I would know intuitively what their dosha type is because I've interacted
because
with
of
them.
the smell, because they smelt it and they responded to a smell.
And I did figure out that people who are of a particular dosha type gravitated to a particular fragrance every time, and that's.
And we tested this yesterday.
Yes.
Amongst us in the store, amongst the sales team and the merchandising team, and we found that when she asked us, and she diagnosed our dosha type and then asked us which smell we like, always fit into the category that she had decided before, or knew of basically. And now one thing I just want to touch on quickly also is, I like that you talked to me a lot about how we got stuck in the last, say, 15, 20 years in this idea of a skincare routine that sort of feels not only monotonous but also like a sort of chore.
Sure, exactly.
And you're trying to kind of return to a more ritualistic approach to skincare. So can you talk a little bit about that?
So I'm inspired by slow beauty, and also the whole idea that I've always wanted to like promote with my brand was to have a mindful beauty ritual. Like this, this whole thing started with the whole K-beauty thing, when they said you have to have an 8-step routine if you want your skin to be good, and I thought that was a bit too much for everyone. So what we instead focus on is that how do we engage your mind, your skin, your body, like your entire, it has to be like a multi-sensory experience, like very holistic, because Ayurveda is not just like solve this one problem, it's more like the whole person has to heal from within. So from that point of view, what I usually suggest to people who have bought my oils is that when they're using it on their face and applying it on their area, and I tell them to also put it on their pulse points, just like a little bit over here and on the palms, and then when they're meditating or doing their affirmations or any other wellness routine, they can just take like 5 to 10 deep breaths inhaling that fragrance, because that fragrance is also really going to heal them, and it's completely natural. We do not use like artificial fragrances, we only use like pure steam distilled natural essential oils, which are very potent and which also have like therapeutic benefits.
Wonderful. And just to sort of round it off, I just want to talk a little bit about the specific oils that we have here. Sure. Okay. So one of them is sold out, but we're going to get more of it. Yeah. Incandescence. Serendipity. I'm very bad with these names. Yeah. Okay, so can you just take us through the ones that we have here? So I have porcelain here. So what is porcelain made of, and who is it going to benefit?
Okay, so porcelain is particularly for people who either have like combination to oily skin. It's made with pomegranate seed oil and this specific type of geranium, which is considered to be like a perfumer's dream fragrance. It's called the Reunion Bourbon Geranium because it's sourced from Reunion Islands. And it smells very different from regular geranium, which is more rosy in nature. This has a more citrusy, bittersweet kind of a zesty fragrance to it. So, and it helps with like dilated pores. So if you have combination skin, I would suggest that you just apply it to areas which are like oily sometimes, like your T-zone or like just this cheek area where you have dilated pores. But if you have oily skin, you can use it as your regular face oil, and like let's say you use it for 4 weeks or 5 weeks, you will actually see that your skin has become more dry internally because it balances your natural skin oil production.
Okay, wonderful, super interesting. So that is therefore it's more of a kapha oil, is that right?
Yeah, it's a kapha oil.
It's a kapha oil, okay. And now I have incandescence.
Yeah. So incandescence is for like all skin types, and it works really well with even dry and sensitive skin.
I use it at night.
Yeah. So there's this whole thing about like vitamin C, but then we wanted to use something which has natural vitamin C. So this is formulated with like 98% Arctic cloudberry oil, which has 2 to 4x more vitamin C than even oranges on a per gram basis.
Wow.
So it's extremely rich, and it has like some 16 plus trace nutrients and vitamins and all the 3 omega fatty acids. It's just extreme. It's like a superfood for your skin.
It's a superfood for your skin. Yeah. So this one is the incandescent.
Yeah,
and it's for all types.
Yeah, all types, and it helps with like anti-aging. It helps with making your skin firmer and more like hydrating. So it's just like instead of a vitamin C oil, you can use that.
Okay, amazing. Now I've got effervescence.
Yes, so that is the under eye oil which we have. It's formulated with like a lot of like different oils together, like 4 or 5 things, like Moroccan immortal and like Himalayan cedarwood and geranium and a bunch of other things. But it's mainly meant for depuffing the under eye area and helps with like decongesting and just helping with the under eye.
Okay, and that anyone can use? Any dosha type?
Yeah, actually more for the pitta and kapha. It's not very good for the dry skin.
Okay, not good for dry, but good for vata and pitta. Okay, and now I have the golden glow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So golden glow is formulated with Chilean rosehip oil, which is very it's rich in trans-retinoic acid. So the people who are very sensitive to using retinol or raw trans-retinoic acid, they can use that. It's like a natural substitute, and it has pure sandalwood oil and saffron in it.
Which dosha type?
It's meant for the kapha type because it's meant for oily skin, because rosehip oil is actually a dry oil. When you use it like frequently, it will dry out your skin over a period of time, and it has a lot of anti-aging benefits, and it promotes this internal glow. So sandalwood oil is rich in this compound called alpha sandalol, beta sandalol, which help with age-related pigmentation and even the melanin effect because of sun exposure, etc. Helps with that.
Okay, fascinating. Alright, and then my last one here is I've got the Apsara.
Yeah, so the Apsara one is again meant for the oily kapha skin type, and it's formulated with rosehip oil in the same way, and it has like frankincense, Spanish neroli, and jasmine sandal. It smells really great.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. I mean, I feel like I want to start that immediately. Alright, amazing. And so now all these oils are available on the website. You can also message us if you want a free consultation with the amazing Sanskruti, and she can help you figure out what is the best oil type for you to use. She'll also design a ritual for you so that you can enjoy that in the morning and in the evening. She's done it for me, and I look forward for the first time in my life to that morning ritual, which for me was such a chore beforehand. I found it annoying. I would like how my daughter doesn't want to brush her teeth, I would do the same thing. I don't want to put my creams on or wash my face because it feels like a chore. But now it's something that I look forward to. Maybe you can figure out how to get a 6-year-old to brush her teeth also, and then I think we'll be in business. So all these oils available on the website. You can also message us if you want a consultation or if you need more information. They are really fantastic. They're an investment. They're also just a treat, something that you'll really look forward to, and hopefully, I mean, it's in the busyness of our lives and in this pandemic when things have just been out of control, especially in our home, it's a great moment for yourself that you can take, right? So thank you for coming, and thank you for making and designing these beautiful oils, okay? Any questions, let us know, and thanks again, and tune in for the next live.